Hey guys, Mike is back with another video. Today we're going to talk about the 6x9 speakers. We're going to bust all the myth about the 6x9 speakers, and I'm going to tell you how to choose a right speaker on your setup and which speaker is the best for the price and how they perform, how the installation, and we're going to cover all of the small details, right? It's going to be a long video. Sit tight and enjoy my show, right? If you like or you have a suggestion, please comment below and let me know what you guys think about this kind of the videos, right? Well, let's talk about the 6x9 speakers. The bass or the 6x9 speakers is the best for the bass, right? Because the 6x9 speakers is the biggest speaker you can buy, from 3.5 inches, 5.5, 525 speakers, 5x7, and 6.5 speakers and 6x9 speakers. This is the mainly common speaker sizes. Don't talking about the pro audio speakers. So 6x9 speakers, yes, if you take the side-by-side exactly same speaker, 6.5 speaker or the 525 speaker, 6x9 speakers will produce more bass because just the size-wise is bigger and moves more air. But depending your installation, the scenario, sometimes 6x9 speaker can sound really bad than your stock 6.5 speakers. I'm gonna cover in the later. So the myth number one is the bigger is always better. Not all the scenario, depending how you're gonna installation, where you install, all that stuff. For example, 6x9 speaker is best when you install for the deck or the bigger vehicle with the bigger doors. There will be sound a lot bigger because moves more air, and that more the cubic feet air they need, the 6x9 will perform better. It's smaller compact doors, definitely 6.5 speakers will sound better, but not the bass scenario. It's going to be overall sound, right? Let's talk about the myth number three. 6x9 speakers is the best for the all make and models. Definitely this is not true. My highly suggestion is that if you want to install 6x9 speakers for the large SUVs, pickup trucks with the big door and a lot of air volume, or the rear deck, it's going to be one of the best place you can install 6x9 speakers, because entire your trunk area, it's going to be like a subwoofer case. So you're going to have really good boomy loud bass, and you will enjoy your 6x9 speaker bass compartment depending what kind of 6x9 you're going to install. I'm going to cover the multiple 6x9 speakers on the video, so watch until we're gonna go each the details, right? Small, how to build, fit and finish, all that stuff. Yeah, myth number three, as I say, 6x9, of course it's gonna be the best for the bass, but not all the 6x9 speakers are made for the bass, even they larger than smaller speakers. Let's cover this part, right? Very interesting. Any 6.5 subwoofer, small subwoofer, will outperform the bass wise than any 6x9 speakers with the right enclosure. So small subwoofer will give you much more bass, much deeper bass than any door installed 6x9 speakers. Now remember that. But you can get a lot more bass from the 6x9 speakers when you buy Infinity Kappa or JBL GTOs, those, you know, the bigger, or any Infinity Kappas, like a higher, but the Kappas, the build structure, the magnets, power handling, those are all total different animals. So it's going to be a little pricey from beginning, but those are really bassy speakers. On my test, I did so many 6x9 speaker tests. Watch my other videos and compare with the actually expensive cheap ones, dinosaur versus crocodile. So we did all that stuff, right? So watch my other videos and definitely you're gonna see how the 6x9 is the bass wise. But remember, small subwoofer will outperform bass wise than regular typical 6x9 speakers. So let's dive in the science, understanding the build, fit and finish, quality, different speakers, how they perform, how they advertise to you, what's the best speaker, right? In America, we pretty much, most speakers is close to the whatever they advertise, but like a Pioneers or, you know, some Chinese companies, they over advertise. This Pioneer, for example, they advertise 1,400 watts per speaker, right? This is advertising, and 700 watts per speaker. But this Rockville, this is a subwoofer 6x9. As you can see, massive magnets, it's made for the bass and only advertised 300 watts per speaker. If you give this Rockville handles the power, the bassy power to the Pioneer, the Pioneer burns right away. Like in the 30 seconds, you're gonna burn the Pioneer. But depending the signal, for example, bass signal for the bass only the use for the subwoofers, it's a lot heavier signal than, you know, the mid-range signal. Mid-range signal is going to be way louder, you're going to be outperforming, but as soon as you're going to give the bass, that not made bassy 6x9 speakers, mid-range speakers, they will just die and crack in distortion. You're gonna get distortion, right? When they're choosing the 6x9 speakers, of course, the 6x9 speakers for the mid-range is around like 80 hertz, like some of this, 60 hertz, some of the speakers. But all of those speakers made for the factory amplifier. So if you want to, in the future, how you're gonna buy the 6x9 speaker? In the future, you wanna buy, expand, or you wanna buy the bigger subwoofers, bigger amplifiers. So stay with the higher frequency, like a mid-range 6x9 speakers. So you're gonna add the bass later on, right? If you don't have a plan to use any subwoofers, that money you're gonna insert to the 6x9 speakers, like JBLs and Kappas. Reason why I keep saying like Alpine, JBL, Kappa speakers, those are really good speakers for the price, and they will perform really good. So now, the mic, should I use $150 6x9 speakers or $70 6x9 speakers and $70 amplifier? Like 10 of the 10 times I'm gonna say save from the $150 because you have a factory garbage amplifier. All the factory amplifiers, you're gonna give you maximum 22 watt RMS power, like 25 watt RMS power. A lot of times the guys, they upgrade, they buy expensive 6x9 speakers, any speaker, 6.5 speakers, they install it, and as soon as they turn it, those speakers will sound garbage because your factory amplifier, factory head unit, not giving enough power to those speakers. Factory speakers, when you take it, you see that small magnets you have and the very thin paper. That's why for the 10 watt RMS power, most factory amplifiers give it 10 watts, 15 watts RMS power. Those paper cones move a lot faster, so you have a lot boomier bass. When you install big 6x9 speakers, those 6x9 speakers doesn't move at all because you're giving only 10 watt RMS power or 15 watt RMS power. That speaker made to consume 80 watts, like 90 watts RMS power. So that's why you're gonna have garbage sound when you install just the speakers. That's why if you have $150, for example, split that with the amplifier depending your head unit, right? If you have a trash head unit, the factory head unit, all that stuff, Bose, Harman Kardon, all of them, it's gonna give you around 22 watts RMS power. So in this case, maybe you're gonna have a better sound quality. I did some videos on my Tahoe. I installed with the factory, the 6x9 speakers, and you're gonna see good sound performance because the built-in the factory upgraded sound system, it gives enough more power. So here's the deal, right? Depending on your scenario, depending on the build, fit and finish quality. And now is another things, 6x9 speakers, as you can see, the Pioneer 1400 watts, Rockville with the giant double magnet, it's gonna give you only the 700 watts, right? I'm talking about the peak powers. Because every single company, the audio testing chamber is different, microphone they testing is different, equipment is different, so they can adjust equipment and advertise. Nobody regulate those advertising stuff with the companies, right? So you can write anything you want and you will take care of the customers. If the customers buy, I need the 1400 watts speakers, and you connect the the 65 watt RMS power, the speakers burns, you're gonna take care of that. But it's actually no hard regulation on that kind of stuff, right? That's why in my channel I show you guys a lot of times, not all the expensive stuff is good, not all the good spec writing stuff is good. You can buy half price in the the worst specs, but actually you give the power. That speaker is outperform expensive ones, outperform with the better spec ones, and outlast better ones because how the material they choose, right? Thicker material, thinner material, how the speaker moves inside, all the cone areas, what kind of glue they use. For example, some speakers, they advertise more power, some speaker less power, and when you're giving, I try to kill my the brand new DS18 speakers. They just playing. I give the tons of bass, they just playing because they use quality glue. So those spiders, magnets, and the cones is not burning. Even they say like 150 watt RMS power, I'm throwing like a 200 watt RMS power, extended time, but those speakers come, still playing because the glue quality is good, the ventilation of the speaker is good, so air is going inside the speaker and out, so it runs a lot cooler. A lot of things, it comes to the audio build. What the best audio you can build on your vehicle? Always use amplifier. So if you don't use amplifier, plan on the future to use some kind of amplifier. No matter now, digital amplifiers, that timpani audios, like the Star SRT, is a bunch of micro amplifiers is coming to the market. They consume less power, way less power, so you don't need the cables, amplifier cables, to run to your audio system. You can end up with the 14 gauge speaker to run it, and those small 4-channel amplifiers will rock and roll many 6x9 speakers day and night, and you're gonna have good sound quality. And the digital amplifiers, usually they're not good quality. Watch my other videos. I'm gonna do digital amplifier versus AB, class A, class B amplifiers. I'm gonna give you the comparison, right? Which one you choose. But digital amplifier nowadays, they coming really good quality, like a sound wise you're gonna like it, right? So now let's talk about how to choose a 6x9 speaker depending what kind of music you use. Not all the time you need the bassy speakers, like maybe you listen some kind of vocals or operas, I don't know. So whatever you're listening, the trap music, whatever music you're using, you don't need all the time like a bassy speakers. You're not gonna install most expensive, most like a Kappas, all that stuff, right? You need just a mid-range speaker because you're running some kind of small subwoofer on the trunk, right? Or if you don't run any subwoofers, if you're not planning to any subwoofers, then you're gonna do the Dynamat, all that stuff. Exactly same 6x9 speakers with the car to car, it's gonna sound different. Smaller car, cheap, sound denting inside, a lot of air is going on out. It's in the smaller door. It's a cubic feet, air cubic feet. It's gonna be a lot less. The sound a lot less bassy than you install on the pickup truck with the sound denting inside, or you can install on the trunk. So that's the entire trunk volume. It's going to be acting like a subwoofer enclosure. So even the 6x9 speakers installed on the trunk, it's going to give you much more bass, much boomier bass, and it will play a lot louder because air and the cubic feet air the 6x9 can utilize to move. To vibrate. If you guys didn't watch my other videos, definitely watch it. If you didn't subscribe, please consider to subscribe. I'm trying to grow this microscopic channel, and just for YouTube algorithm, like this kind of videos if you like the videos. And I'm gonna give you another more interesting contents, how to choose, how to buy, all that stuff, right? We're gonna talk about the amplifiers in the future, about any kind of speaker sizes, what speaker to choose, all that stuff, right? I'm gonna upload next video very soon. I'll see you in the next one.